Free Guy is honestly the perfect example of how to make a truly brilliant movie and also marketing and promotional campaign, and is just such a true popcorn pleaser, and I cannot wait to break it down with you guys right now. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. Now in this movie we are going to be reviewing Free Guy, which is a science fiction action comedy movie that has just got an excellent concept, truly brilliant performances, and is just such an enjoyable and fun movie from start to finish. And it's got a really easy to understand storyline in terms of a non-playable character being in an open world video game who suddenly realizes the truth about himself and the world, and then embarks on an adventure to save himself and all of his friends as well from a really evil and corrupt megalomaniac creator, which is just so awesome, and I cannot wait to break it down for you guys in this movie review. So from a storyline point of view, it is centered around the lead character called Guy, who is a bank teller in Free City, unaware that he is actually a non-playable character in this open world video game. One day he encounters a character with sunglasses on. By the way, characters with sunglasses on are real life players entering into Free City, so can quite literally do whatever they want in terms of robbing places, killing people, stealing, hurting characters, etc. And something happens when he encounters this particular character with sunglasses on that sparks him to somewhat wake up and realize the truth about what's happening. At the same time as this, we see in the real world two characters called Walter and Millie, who have created another game called Life Itself, which corrupt video game developers stole from them and built Free City on top of. So Millie and Walter are trying to prove that he did this and then work with Guy to do this from the insider perspective, which is absolutely awesome. Now from a positives point of view, like I said in the beginning, this movie is just super fun and super enjoyable, and as such is just such a good time movie that you can quite literally escape into and just have such a blast. As it is a video game, there are plenty of video game references, which is absolutely hilarious. For example, the typical way that real life players interact and conduct themselves in these open world scenarios are absolutely hilarious. It also poses some really interesting and philosophical questions. Yes, it actually does do that in this awesome video game in terms of the life of artificial intelligence. Is that true life? A little bit similar to what they asked in Ex Machina is also happening here, especially as you're really with the Guy character, so you're really rooting for him as well. There are also some hilarious and awesome cameos in this movie, which really does make it what it is. Also, as it poses a massive risk to the lives of the artificial intelligence based characters, there's true jeopardy in this movie as well, and also it's really fast paced, so it definitely keeps you on the edge of your seat as it races through all of the storylines in this movie, which is really cool. And on top of all of that, it's really action packed as well. There are some awesome scenes across this movie which are absolutely brilliant, especially the one in the final act of this movie. So it's really cool. However, from a negatives point of view, I guess you could say they could have pushed the video game aspects a little bit further and also maybe developed the business world that these characters are based in as well. But you know, that being said, for what they did do for the storyline, it is actually pretty perfect. So from a casting characters point of view, again, Free Guy is just so good. You can just tell that all of the actors and the actresses are just having such a fun time in this movie, and as such, and in turn, the audience are really enjoying themselves as well. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, of course, we have Ryan Reynolds as the Free Guy character. And he is just so brilliant in this movie. You can just tell that he's just having such a brilliant time. And he just owns this character and this world really well. He's really endearing, so you're really with this character throughout. And you're really rooting for him as well. He's in majority of all of the scenes in this movie, and he's really hilarious. In all of the comedic moments, it's really intense when you're really thinking that he's going to lose his life. And all of the action sequences by this character and from this actor are really awesome. So Ryan Reynolds totally delivers in this movie. Next up we have Jodie from Killing Eve, who plays two characters in this movie. The first one is the leveled up, fully aware character called Molotov Girl, who works with Guy to try and save the day. In the real world, she is also playing a character called Millie, who worked on the original game Life Itself, and she is entering Free City to try and prove the fact that her code was used to create Free City, and actually proved that the Antoine character stole this from her and Walter. Speaking of Walter, we then have Keery, who was the co-creator of Life Itself with the Millie character, and he is now working for the Antoine character in Tsunami Games, the made-up company. And it's really interesting as this character now has the intel and the insider info that he can use to help Millie and Guy when they are entering in the world of Free City. Next up we have Taika Waititi, who is playing the main villain in this movie, the Antoine character. He's playing him in a very eccentric, over-the-top way, and he is very megalomaniac-based as a character, and you can really tell that he did steal the Life Itself code and built Free City on top of it, and just does not want anyone to know the truth. I think it's also really funny that they definitely poke fun at game developers from this character's point of view, as instead of creating new and original content, he wants to jump on the wave of existing content and original IP and just create a sequel after a sequel after a sequel, which I think is pretty hilarious. Next up we have Lil Rel Howery, who is absolutely hilarious as the buddy character. He works with Guy in the bank, and this character is just so funny. Very similar performance to what he did in Get Out and Space Jam: A New Legacy, but that being said, this character is still absolutely hilarious. And speaking of other non-playable characters, you get to see a lot of them within the world of Free City, and because you're with all of these different characters, you're really rooting for all of them, which is really cool. And like I said before, there are some awesome cameos in this movie, mainly towards the end of this movie, but they are absolutely awesome. And because of the fact that they are now part of the Disney world, as 20th Century Studios is now part of the Disney company, they are definitely able to leverage all of those brands, and they do them so well in this movie. And so from a cast and characters point of view, this movie is absolutely awesome. So from a visuals point of view, Free Guy is also pretty wicked. I absolutely love the fact that they have three kind of worlds happening in this movie. So first of all, we have the true non-playable character world, where they are just getting on with their lives. They don't really recognize or realize what is happening, and they're just kind of working as they should be. We then have the real player world in the Free City, so those characters can quite literally do as they please, kill people, just level up and just enjoy themselves within this real true world in this open world video game. And then we have the real world, the outside world of Free Guy and Free City, and seeing how people are interacting with this game and working from a business point of view is really fascinating. Within the world, all of the battle sequences, like I said before, look absolutely awesome. They definitely make the most of the fact that this is a video game, and all of the sequences in this world look absolutely awesome. I truly love the fact that they had real streamers being part of this movie as well, which really made it really authentic. And then outside of that, all of the business interactions and seeing all of the technological advances and all of the massive servers that are required to keep Free Guy and Free City alive is absolutely awesome. So from a visuals point of view, Free Guy looks absolutely phenomenal. So from a comparison point of view, I feel like Free Guy is a brilliant blend of four main movies. So we have Ready Player One, Wreck-It Ralph, The Truman Show, and The Matrix. And then from a video game point of view, I also feel like it's a bit of a blend of Fortnight and Grand Theft Auto. And I really love the fact that, unlike with most people, when they enter open world games, they are usually being very destructive in terms of how they are leveling their characters up. However, Guy, when he was in this world, he was showing that by being a nice guy and doing good deeds and good acts, that is how you can level yourself up quicker. And the reason that he became a bit of an internet phenomenon is because he's doing something that's very different to the majority. So I feel like actually there's quite a few nice life lessons in this movie as well. And also, unlike the recently released Space Jam: A New Legacy, instead of over-forcing your IP into the movie, I feel like this movie did it brilliantly, as they were just peppering in a few and balancing them in terms of having a few definitely in there so that the audience can really have surprise and delight factor, but also not overdoing it so that it doesn't lose its novelty, and also the main movie can definitely have its own two legs to stand on. And so from a comparison point of view, I definitely feel like Free Guy is definitely one of the best. So overall, I'm sure you can tell I absolutely loved Free Guy. I thought it was just what we all need right now. Such an awesome, cinematic, brilliant movie that definitely works as a standalone entry into this world within this cinematic movies, but also it just got its own sequel announced, and I cannot wait to see how they're going to expand and further drive everything in Free Guy 2, which I think is going to be absolutely brilliant. But like I said across this review, you know, it's got some phenomenal performances, awesome visuals, and just a great new entry within this genre. And so for all of those reasons, I'm going to give Free Guy a massive 8.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear from you. What did you think of Free Guy? Please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.